Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would just do a super funky, really bright, colourful eye look. So this is it here. So if you want to know how I did it, stick around and keep watching. Guys, to start us off, let's use some primer. So this is the Silk Canvas by Tatcha. It's such a good primer, but I've hardly used it because it's so expensive. So I just warm it up on my fingers and then I just apply it to the face. It honestly covers all my pores and it leaves me with a really good base. Okay, so next is brow time. So I use the Goop Proof Brow Pencil by Benefit in the shade 3.5, and all I do is I just start to brush out my brows with the spoolie and then start defining. So with the brow pencil, I kind of just start putting product towards the middle of my brow and working it out towards the arch. I try to do a defined point, and then all I do is start defining the front just a little bit, but I do brush it through the spoolie just so it looks a little bit more natural. And then I just go in and do the second brow. It's so hard to match brows, but you know, they are sisters, not twins. And then with my Holy Grail product, that is the Tarte Shape Tape, I'm using just a angled brush just to get in and define those brows. I do use the shade Light, and I just start carving out the brows just underneath and then going in and placing it on my lid to act as a base for when I do my shadow. And then with the Shape Tape, I just lightly go on top and just define that also, just to clean up any little mistakes I've made. And then with a damp Morphe sponge, whichever one you want to call it, I'm just going to go in and just pat that all into the skin and just blend it out. And then on the other side, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Alright, time for eyes. So I'm going to be using two palettes today to create this look. The first one is the Be Perfect Carnival palette by Stacey Marie. It is so bright and beautiful. You can create so many looks with this. As well as the 24G palette by Morphe. It's a really neutral palette with lots of pinks and browns and oranges. Super versatile for any look. So with a flat packing brush, I'm just going to go in and use the colour Naked and just start patting that on both of my lids as a transition colour. And then grabbing the 24G palette, I'm just going to use this fluffy brush from Morphe and just grab this super bright reddish pink colour and just start slowly blending on the eye up to the brow. And once I'm happy with this eye, I'm going to go and do the exact same thing on the opposite eye. I just kept blending until I was happy with the desired colour payoff. So dipping back into the Carnival palette, I'm going to be using this bright electric pink in the shade Funky. And now this is super bright, so you really don't need a lot. And all I'm doing is just placing it just a little bit higher than the red shade from the Morphe palette. And I'm just going to slowly kind of blend them together. The next shade I'm going to build up a bit more of the red, and I'm going to use the colour Guilty. Now I am using a bit of a more smaller tapered brush just to really start working on the outer corner and just darkening that up a little bit. Now to add some depth and a lot more warmth, I'm going to be using the colour Liquor, which is a kind of like a burgundy undertone colour, and I'm just going to start adding that to the outer V of my eye as well, where we put the red, and just really start intensifying it and just packing on the colour. So going back into the Morphe palette, I'm going to use one of the darker brown shades in this palette, and I'm just going to keep adding to the outer V where we put the last colour Liquor, just to add that bit more smokiness. And to finish off the look, I thought I'd add a bit more of a glitter shimmer to my lid. So I'm just going to use my small finger and just pack on the colour to it, and then just start patting it on my lid. And next, with a small tapered brush, I'm just going to take that same pink shimmer and just start packing the colour on just in the inner corner of my eye. Just to really get the colour payoff, I am going to just spray a bit of Fix Plus by MAC on the brush just to really get those colours popping. So next is time finally for my base. So I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Faux Filter High Coverage Foundation in the shade Chai. You only need a little bit as it really goes a long way. It's very full coverage. So just put a pump in a bit on the back of my hand, and with a damp beauty sponge, I'm just going to start working that through onto my face. Now, as I blend, I always make sure I do my neck and my ears and making sure there's no lines of foundation, because no one wants to see that. It's now time to conceal and hide those disgusting bags under my eyes. I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light and just put a few dots under each of my eyes, some on the bridge of my nose, forehead and chin. Then with my beauty sponge, I'm just going to blend the heck out of my face. Now time to start warming up my face. I'm going to use the Too Faced Sun Bunny bronzer and just using this chiseled brush from Zoeva and just start carving out my cheekbones, putting some on my forehead and my chin. So with the same bronzer, I'm just going to carve out my nose a little bit, just at the bridge of my nose, just to make it look that little bit skinnier. Okay, time to set my face. So I'm going to use the Laura Mercier translucent powder. It's really sad because here in Australia you can't purchase it at Sephora anymore. So I bought this from America. So all I'm going to do is just start some baking under my under eyes so the concealer doesn't crease, as well as just putting the powder on any prone oily spots on my face. And lastly, to make this whole eye look come together, we're just going to go back in with that dark brown shade with a little tapered eye brush and just pop some on the bottom lash line. So I've had that powder sitting on my under eye for a little bit now, so with a fluffy brush I'm just going to dust all the excess off. And for another favourite of mine from Too Faced, I'm going to use the Love Flush blush in the shade Baby Love with a fluffy blush brush. Gosh, that's a mouthful. I'm just going to put them on the apples of my cheek and just blend it in with my bronzer. Now time to glow. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting palette, and the colours are so stunning, honestly. For the price, it's amazing. So I'm just going to go in with the colour Botanic Dream, which is like a pinky undertone highlight, and just start placing that on the high points of my face, my cheekbones, a little bit on my nose, my chin. And then with a small tapered brush, I'm just going to go into the same colour Botanic Dream on the highlighting palette and just place that on the bottom of my brow bone just to give it that little bit of extra highlight. Okay, now it's time for lashes. So I've come across this Australian brand called Slashed, and they make the most stunning faux mink lashes. So the lash I'm going to use today is called Lauren. So using some lash glue by Duo, I'm going to use my little favourite Tweezer Man tweezers and just wait for that glue just to dry, just till it gets a little bit tacky for maybe about 10-15 seconds, and just apply the lash to my face. I do prefer using tweezers rather than those little apparatuses. I just can't get them to work. And then I'm just going to do the same thing on the other eye. So off camera I just stuck on some L'Oreal Miss Mega mascara, and now for lips. So this is my favourite combo for like the perfect nude lip. So this is the Huda Beauty liquid lipstick in the shade Bombshell and my MAC lip liner in the shade Boldy Bear. So I just go in and start defining those lips, and I do like a bit of an overline lip, just a little bit. So I do a little bit to the bottom and a little bit to the top, and then I just go and fill in with my lipstick. So guys, this is the final look. I am so happy with it. I usually don't go for these type of looks. I usually go for like browns and neutrals, but I'm so happy to finally be doing tutorials again on MJ Beauty. And if you liked it just as much as I did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and you'll be seeing more videos like this soon. And go through all of the products that can go in the trash and the things that can stay in 2018.